We are digging into the murder of Greg Feny, who was a detective with the Terre Haute Police Department and also a federal agent that worked with the FBI on a task force. So he was described as an incredible man, incredible investigator. He seemed to support, within his job, the police department did a lot of things, everybody spoke so highly of him. He was, he left behind twin, children and, a family. And it's really, really sad what happened. But his murder happened on July 7th, 2021. He was 53 at the time, and he was at the federal building, the FBI office in Terre Haute, in Indiana, which was on First Street at the time. So he had been with the FBI for 11 years or something like that, and 30 years as a detective, or working at the Terre Haute Police Department, not as a detective. But, so he, I don't know which happens first, so I have the report here, but it sounds like a Molotov cocktail was thrown first. So, okay. And then Feny walks out of the building, and when he walks out of the building, Shane Mian shoots him.
Oh, jeez.
And then Feny shoots back, but dies of his injuries, but he hit Shane. So then another agent comes running out of the building as backup, and Shane hops in his gold F-150 pickup truck and drives himself to the hospital and escapes, but then is arrested at the hospital. He had to undergo surgery for his wounds and stuff. So, yeah, that's how Feny died. Now, who is Shane Mian, and why did he do this? Because after police officers arrested him and then searched his truck, they found ammunition, they found more Molotov cocktails. He was going there to kill people. And so this is still ongoing. The trial is pushed out till 2024. So we don't have all of the information yet. Hopefully we find out in the trial. Hopefully it's televised, though with Indiana, I don't know. They just recently allowed cameras in their courtrooms, but I don't know how much they're going to make use of that. Shane Mian was 44, and he ran for mayor in 2019. Yeah. Okay. Weird, right?
Yeah.
Really strange.
Very.
This guy ran for mayor and then goes on to murder
so he has
a
that
police
kind
officer?
of connection to people in the area where he feels confident enough that he could run for mayor?
I guess so.
That's strange.
Really strange. Yeah, he ran for mayor. He said he retired from... So apparently he worked at a federal penitentiary for a while and retired from there. And he worked for the Postal Service at one point, too. So that's his job history. Now, his lawyers have argued in court that he suffers from mental health conditions. Okay, so it says he's been diagnosed by doctors with several health conditions, including post-concussion syndrome, a traumatic brain injury, a seizure disorder, Parkinson's disease, and chronic pain syndrome.
Okay.
What? That's a lot of things.
Yeah, and it reminds me of oh shoot, I'm in trouble, Judge Goal. You know?
Yeah. Really, really strange. So he was placed on permanent medical leave from his position at the federal prison complex. Okay, so he didn't retire. That was inaccurate. I actually didn't realize that it said this. Due to his... Because that was a...
Federal prison complex? He worked at the prison?
He worked at a prison.
I missed that. I thought you said postal service or something.
He did work for a postal service too. That was his job history.
I must have started thinking ADHD mind.
So I have different media sources here that are from back when it happened and now later on, because this is still going through the court system.
Sure.
And I'm sure the reason why is because of his condition and his lawyers trying to get him assessed and making sure he's competent for court. That's probably what's been going on this whole time.
Okay.
But yeah, it says here his lawyers said that he was placed on permanent medical leave from his position at the federal prison complex in Terre Haute due to his medical history and that he had previously been hospitalized related to self-deletion ideations.
All right.
Yeah. It's really... So, apparently when he ran for mayor, he only won 1% of the votes, though.
Okay.
And what's funny is, like, a big argument for his campaign was, like, public safety.
Yeah, public safety from Molotov cocktails.
Like, you literally just shot up some federal agents, bro.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, now this has been talked about a lot in comments I've seen because Ferenczi is in the Franks memorandum in the Delphi case, in the Richard Allen Delphi case. Now, what role did Ferenczi play in that? If you guys are unaware, he played a very big role. A very big role in the investigation. So I have all of the excerpts pulled up of where Ferenczi's name is mentioned in the memorandum. I won't go through every single one of them because this memorandum is like, they have an introduction part where they give a general, like, synopsis of everything in the document and then they really go into it. And it's a lot. His name is mentioned a lot in here. But, so, Click, Murphy, and Ferenczi were the 3 law enforcement officers who worked on this case and specifically focused on the Odinite angle.
Really?
They are the ones who wrote the Odinite report.
Interesting.
They are the ones who got the statement from Elvis Fields who said he spit on the bodies. And so it's an 85-page detailed report. And Officer Click is the one who was concerned, because he worked with Ferenczi and Murphy on this and wrote this Odinist report. He is the one that was concerned when he saw the charges against Richard Allen and read the PCA and started contacting Tony Liggett saying, I'm concerned with, like, the evidence against him. Like, and forwarded him all the Odinist report.
Really? Gosh.
Yep.
And do you know what date that was?
The date that McLeland was given that?
Yeah.
It probably says in here.
Okay, we can look at it later because that's not that important to the story. It's just important how it took for this topic to get brought up, them to be in court in the way that they were. And look what happened. It almost got, or I mean, it did get both of his defense attorneys thrown out.
Yep. This report got both of Richard Allen's defense attorneys thrown out of the case, basically. And if you don't consider it thrown out, they were threatened.
Yep.
Like, that's pretty much thrown out.
I agree.
Essentially, this letter was stamped May 1st, 2023. Yeah. So basically what the defense alleges in the memorandum is that this was exculpatory evidence and McClelland sat on it. He just ignored it.
Yeah.
And the defense wasn't given it until September. I'm pretty sure is what it's saying here. Some of this exculpatory evidence in the form of videos was finally released to the defense September 8th, 2023, over 9 months after the defense counsel entered their appearance.
That is crazy.
It's absolutely crazy.
I'm curious why it took that long, or what the reason is that we're going to hear that it took that long, because that's just unacceptable.
Mm-hmm. So it says by this time, the defense had literally taken several depositions, like several, to try to investigate this and they were deposing officers like Holman, Liggett, and Lesenby to figure out what was going on, and then they finally got this. They got the Odinist report. But, I mean, so here, I wanted to find law enforcement officer Greg Feny and sent Tony Liggett a video of a pagan ritual videotaped by Brad Holder in which someone that looks like Patrick Westphal is marking a tree with his hands or fingers. And isn't that funny that in Patrick Westphal's interview on Sleuth Intuition, he literally talks about putting runes on trees?
Yeah. I mean, it is strange.
Or no, wait. He said he did it. No, he tried to deny that, actually. No, and he said that he cut slices off branches to make little flat surfaces for the kids to write runes on. But then we found evidence that he actually did do markings on trees.
Yeah.
Yeah. His name is all through this document, investigating all of them. All of the men that the defense alleges are connected to this.
So, do we feel like it's going to eventually be brought up that there was a connection?
I don't know, because it's interesting.
Targeted because of this.
It's interesting because I know that when I was looking into this, there was a lot of talk about how the FBI and the local police were on two different pages the whole time. That they were, it was like two different investigations, because local police officers ruled out the Odinist angle pretty quickly, and they cited that Purdue professor, that they then later couldn't find, apparently, who actually didn't...
Came out later and said that there was a connection.
He did see a connection, not what they were saying.
Yeah.
So I know that I keep hearing people talking about this case, and they want to focus on just what's going on with Gull and the court system and how it's messed up. And they're like, just leave out the Odinist angle and just look at what's happening. This is horrible. And I understand that point of view. But then when you put the Odinist angle back in, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa.
Yeah. I don't know if I agree with that point of view. I think that everything's important in a case.
The fact
Every single thing.
They're lying about a professor and saying they can't find him and saying that he ruled it out, but then actually you find out he didn't and said there is a connection. The fact that you have 3 agents that still, despite everyone else saying, no, that's not it, going out of their way to get to the bottom of the truth and investigate this angle, to see it through, to go where the evidence leads.
Yeah.
Because that's what Feny, Click, and Murphy did.
Yeah.
Despite everyone, the local police officers saying, no, this isn't it, we're ruling this out, they still relentlessly investigated this angle and took it where it led and wrote the Odinist report.
Yeah. And that's one important thing that we talk about all the time is you got to go where the evidence leads. And look, a topic might feel really lame. It might feel
impossible.
Super tin hat and like it is way out in outer space, but you have to remember, if it's important to the suspect or the criminal involved, then it's important to the case. Always. 100% of the time.
If this Nordic religion is important to the suspects, then it's important to the case, no matter how dumb or out there it seems.
Yeah.
Think like Zodiac Killer.
Yeah.
His ideas were so dumb.
Yeah.
It's all creepy and stuff because we never caught him, but if they caught him, guarantee you, he would just be a psychopath.
I agree.
Who is literally so out there you can't make sense of what his whole mission was. He's just crazy.
Yep. Yep.
So I tried searching articles from this time period about the Delphi case and Ferenczi's death to see what was going on during that time. Was anything important going on? I mean, no, not really. It didn't seem like it. The only way I'm going to be able to link the two is if I can find a date somewhere in this memorandum, which I have not found yet, that shows around his death in 2021 they were investigating some kind of lead. And so far, I it doesn't seem that way. Most of their investigations that I've seen so far, they say 2018, 2017. I don't see anything from 2021. So, I mean...
Yeah. That is strange.
And I also don't see any connection with this Shane guy. Shane Meehan.
You know what I'm wondering? I'm sitting here thinking of reasons why you could go from wanting to run for mayor to focusing on public safety to then doing something of this nature. The obvious one is mental health, right? But the other one that I'm sitting here wondering is, did this person have a chronic illness and they were on a time limit?
He's still alive.
Yeah.
Okay. They were on a time limit?
Yeah, life. Like, do they have a chronic illness that is putting a clock on the rest of their life?
Why would that make him do this?
Because if you're talking about a group of people, large or small, and you know one of those group members has a time clock left on their life, so you need to have someone be gone, disappear, something to happen to them, that's the obvious person to do it.
Oh. Yeah, I guess you're right.
So they said he had all these illnesses, okay.
Yeah, they did.
Is there more to it?
Maybe. I mean, he didn't seem like very popular in his little race for mayor.
Yeah.
So.
This just seems like a lot of coincidences, though.
It does.
But Delphi is all coincidences.
You're right. It is a case full of coincidences. Like that Brad Holder's son was dating Abby.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like he claimed to his ex-wife that Patrick Westphal killed Abby and Libby, and that if she didn't stop asking questions, she was going to turn up dead too.
Yes.
And connected it to the Flora fires and said that it was to cover those up.
Yes. Interesting.
And like Elvis Fields saying that he spit on the bodies and that he confessed to 2 different sisters that he was there. And like Patrick Westphal lives 7 minutes down the road from Manon High Bridge.
Yeah,
And there was a ritual in the woods that made them stop being friends.
One thing that I really need to do is get all the documents now that they've been posted and the public has access to them. I need to read through all of them. Every single one that's tied to the case.
Good luck.
Yeah, I know.
Have fun
But that's
with
the
that.
only way to try and figure this out.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
That's a lot. But yeah, so, I mean, have you seen, this is Shane Meehan.
Mm-hmm.
So, his new pretrial date, because they've just been extending this over and over, is February 14th, 2024. And then his trial date is set for March 4th, 2024. So they're preparing for a competency. I don't know why.
Competency.
I just said this word earlier. All of a sudden, I can't say it. A hearing, and yeah, they're really just looking at his ability to stand trial, where he's at in his head, and we're waiting. I am so curious about this, how this is going to turn out in trial. I haven't found anywhere a motive. It's also interesting. There's an element of arson here.
Yep. I know.
What is up with the fires in Indiana?
I don't know.
It's really strange.
Yeah.
We just found out that
McClelland's some tie to ritual?
McClelland's father was an arsonist.
Yep. It makes me feel like there could be some kind of tie to a ritual.
Well, arson is also a thing, like Molotov cocktails that they did to... Racists did.
Yeah.
That's something they did. Was arson.
Yeah.
So, is it that kind of thing? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I want to know what you guys think about this information. I'm glad that commenters brought it up so that I could look into it. And this isn't the only officer death in the area, so maybe I'll cover that in the future. Because there's another one that has odd circumstances. But
yeah.
Let me know what you think. If you have any further information on this, definitely let me know and leave it in the comments. Because I would really like to know if there was ever anywhere on the internet a motive stated for Shane Meehan, or if anybody knows if he has a connection to the Delphi case in any kind of way, or the people mentioned in the memorandum who are the alleged Odinists connected to this crime.
Yep.
I want real justice for Abby and Libby. Not...
Yes.
You know, like, this is... It's just
in
making
any situation.
This is making a mockery out of the whole situation, and it literally makes people forget about the girls and what it's about. It's a circus at this point, and it's not because of the media.
Yeah.
It's not because of cameras in the courtroom. It's because of the court.
Yeah.
It's because of the investigators. Like, there's problems here, but let me know what you think. I rest my case.